Welcome back. It is Thursday. We got another episode of the Late Night Vision Show. This is a special episode, Jason, and I'm about to tell you why.
You say
this
that
is a
every
special
week.
One. No, this
every
one,
week
this one's special in my heart. Episode 232.
Okay. Right.
We've got a big review, a review that I know that most of you have been waiting on for a while. But the reason why it's special, I want everybody to help me recognize and congratulate Jason on making it to another birthday. So this episode airs on Thursday. Jason's birthday is over the weekend. And you know what, man, I don't know of a better friend and a better boss than you. So thank you. You're an amazing man. And this is from the bottom of my heart, amazing man and an even more amazing father. If you guys could see their kids, Amanda and Jason, and see how well behaved they are, just great kids. I know he's probably shaking his head, but well behaved, well mannered, hard work. The two hardest working kids you'll ever meet, and it's a testament to Jason and Amanda, his wife. They're how great people they are. So happy birthday, and I hope you're doing some fun.
Thank you very much, folks. Hans, I really do appreciate that. You're very kind. I do want to say this. If y'all saw me looking down, it's because I was grabbing my phone and pulling the calendar up and going, what's he talking about? Because I really didn't know exactly when my birthday was. You know, you get to be this age. You forget. You know, I'll tell you all this. Listen, real quick. We'll detour real quick. Guys, those of y'all who are listening to this who've got kids, you're going to get this. And Hans, I know you will. So my daughter, Dixie Lee, her birthday is 6 days after mine. And so, you know, again, after mine. Mine's first, but all my wife talks about is, so when are we going to have Dixie Lee's birthday party? What day do you have Dixie Lee's birthday? And I'm thinking, what about my birthday? Can we not have like Daddy and Dixie Lee? But no, it's, you know how that goes. Sure. But that's okay. When you get this age, you get over 40, you're not too excited to go out there and, you know, celebrate another one. It's just give me some cake.
Half the time I can't even remember how old I am, to tell you the truth. So I'm like, what number are we on this year?
True.
But y'all jump on, comment to the video, wish him happy birthday, and
thank you.
I don't know, somebody out there will be having a drink for you know, on Saturday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Y'all
so we got a big review, right?
All right. Well, On, let's jump into this. Hey, I want to say something real quick before we do. We had a comment from a loyal viewer on YouTube the other day, last week. Hans and I, you know, we did a topic show where we were talking about laser rangefinders and judging distance at night and a lot of different things like that. And he jumped on and he goes, hey, man, he said, I love this show. I listen every week, but, man, sometimes the constant reviews that y'all been doing, he's like, man, it gets tough. He's like listening to them all. He goes, but I do. And so I want to say, first of all, appreciate y'all who are our loyal, you know, listeners who listen every week, regardless of what we're talking about. I don't know how you do it, but we appreciate you. I know a lot of people, they're like, man, I don't want to hear another review, and we get it. And I'll tell you, this has been an issue over the last 2.5 years. There's just been more and more thermal optics. When Hans and I started this back, 5 seasons ago, there was only a few new thermal optics a year. We weren't sure what we were going to talk about the rest of the time. And now it's the opposite. It seems like all we do is reviews. And we sense that, guys. We want you to know we're looking for every opportunity to do some topic shows and things. So if there's something y'all want to hear, you know, that you think would make a good topic or a good discussion, man, leave it in the comments and we'll definitely throw it on our list and try to get to it, you know, especially when there's less reviews.
It's a grind for us too, doing all these reviews. We want to do more topic shows and we get excited. Like last week, it was like a little energy boost, but like you said, we've got so many optics that are always coming out that we've got to get to, that people are depending on us to get to. But before we jump into it, if you're looking to purchase a night vision or thermal optic and you want to talk to a couple guys that are not young, not kids, have a little bit of experience out in the field, now in appreciation of your birthday, we are not young kids. We are probably a little over middle age, but we do this. We have a job like what kids dream of, I think of, and that's to get to hunt and use these optics on a daily basis. So If you want to talk to somebody that's used this stuff out in the field, all these optics, call me. You can talk to me. You can talk to Jason, 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacygear.com. Let us jump into the review of the, well, I'm going to show him, Jason, Pulsar Merger. And why don't you go ahead and give him the model, the specifics.
Yeah, it's the Merger. Yeah, it's the Merger XP50 LRF, laser rangefinder. Guys, I'm going to tell you what this is. I mean, if Hans is holding it up and you're looking at it, you can see this is a set of thermal binoculars. And so there's a couple things going on here. One, they're new and they're not new. Okay. Pulsar has had the accolades. The accolades have been around for several years, and they're basically a thermal binocular as well. But what's really changed is the design. That's the biggest thing I can say is these look like a true set of binoculars. If you set these on a table and you walk away from them, across the room, 5 foot away, whatever, anybody, they're going to, there's pair of binoculars. That's what they look like. That's what they feel like. And so it's the first time that Pulsar has done this. We're really bringing down and slimlining that square block style design of that accolade. And these things are legit. We're going to get into more about this, but I'm going to go over the specs first so you kind of know what you're looking at here. Again, it is the Merger XP50 LRF from Pulsar. All right, let me find the specs here. Here we go. All right, I'm digging through my notes. Okay, let's start with the price. $5,898.97. And I know there was a gasp from a lot of people that go, oh my goodness, that's too expensive. They are a 640 by 480, 17 micron, less than 25 millikelvin, thermal sensor in here. Now, one thing I'm going to just real quick throw this out. I don't want to get into a big discussion. We are going to call these binoculars. They are technically bioculars. What that means is Hans can hold it up and point to it. There is one lens here. There is basically one thermal sensor, one lens, one camera, and the other side is your laser rangefinder. So you take that single objective lens, and that information comes into the sensor, and then it splits and goes to two display screens. So technically, that's called a biocular, not a binocular. But we're going to call them binoculars because that's way easier. That's what everybody refers to them as. But I just want to be clear, because if I don't say that, there's going to be somebody come in the comments and tell me that I'm a moron.
And rightfully so. And rightfully so.
And rightfully so. No question. A lot of other reasons I'm a moron as well. But so they are a biocular, but again, they function like a binocular, so that's what we're going to call them. So, all right. Again, 640 by 480, 17 micron, sub 25 millikelvin. What does that mean? It means fantastic image quality. We'll talk about that a little bit more. It is a 1.0 very fast objective lens. They have a base magnification optically of 2.5 power, and they go all the way up to 20 power with the 8x digital zoom. So 2.5, and then again up to 20. They've got a 65-foot horizontal field of view at 100 yards. They have a detection range. Now, this is not identification. It's just detecting that there is a heat source out there at about 1,968 yards, so just about 2,000 yards. The LRF, the laser rangefinder, will function and read out to about 1,100 yards. Again, that's going to be on a large object. You're not going to do that on a coyote. Okay, I don't think you're going to get a little bitty small target like that and get back anything at 1,100 yards. But a big target, the LRF is capable of that. It does include audio and video recording. It includes all the normal color palettes that Pulsar is known for. It does have Wi-Fi included, so you can use the StreamVision 2.0 app for streaming to your phone or tablet. It weighs about 30 ounces, 30, 31 ounces. And then there's a neck strap that comes with it. That's probably going to add another ounce or two. So I'm going to say about 30 ounces, give or take. Just compare that real quick. The Pulsar Helion 2 XP50 Pro. That's basically this same unit with a single eyepiece and without the laser rangefinder. So it's just a monocular. That unit weighs about 22 ounces. So in reality, to be double the size per se, have two eyepieces, only going up 8 or 10 ounces is really not bad at all. Battery life. Now this is interesting. We're going to talk about this. Guys, remember this part right here. When we get done with the specs and the walk around, we're going to come back and talk about the battery life. And I'm going to tell you why these numbers are low and you're actually going to get probably better battery life than this in the field. I'll explain. Stick around. It's important. All right. Battery life. There is an internal battery. So kind of like the Pulsar Thermions. It's an internal battery that you can't take out, but it also has an external removable battery that slides in and locks in. Hans will show that in the walk around. That's an APS-3. That's one of the common batteries that Pulsar uses in some of their optics. The APS-3 is included. It is removable, and if you would like to purchase more, you can do so. They're about $99 a piece. So the internal battery, this is a straight run time, just leaving the unit sitting there. I got 5 hours and 15 minutes. And so then the APS-3 removable battery, I got 4 hours and 15 minutes, which gives us a total of 9.5 hours. Now, I will say that is a perfect test. I mean, I did use it a little bit. I recorded a little bit, but 99% of that time it was just sitting there indoors. So that's a perfect world to get 9.5 hours. In this condition, in the field, in, again, normal temperatures above, say, 40 degrees, you're probably going to bring somewhere around, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour off of that, just turning it on, turning it off, recording, using the laser rangefinder, a lot of those things. So, that's, what did I say, 9.5 hours. Maybe it's 8.5. But when we get to this, I'm going to tell you why it's actually going to be even longer than that. So stick around. I promise it is worth it. Identification range, I'm going to tell you, it's really, really, really good. And Hans and I are going to go conservative on this. I would say a hog, a coyote, a deer, a calf, small animals like that. I think you're going to conservatively be able to identify at 400 plus yards. I think if you have experience using thermals and you know what animals look like, you're comfortable with thermal imaging, I think it's going to be a lot further than that. And I do mean a lot further, but I think I can hand these to a first-time thermal user that, has probably never held one in his hand, but he is familiar with what the animal, I mean, you have to have some hunting experience, know the difference in what a deer and a coyote looks like, that sort of thing. But I think 400 plus is a realistic minimum. And again, I think it's going to be a lot longer than that if you're familiar. Dimensions, this thing is 7.7 inches long, 5.6 inches wide, and 3 inches tall. That's going to be, it's actually going to be narrower than that on the eyepiece end, but you can see out there towards the objective lens, it's a little bit taller. It does include a USB-C port where you can plug it in and charge it. You could also run it off of an external battery pack if you would like to do that. And this unit is an IPS 6.7 rating, which means it's fully dust-proof, fully waterproof, submersible to 3 foot for 30 minutes. And I actually saw on social media that Pulsar had posted a photo of these units sitting in water. Somebody had I think said one of their pro staffers was testing it, and it was a really cool photo, but these units were sitting in the water. And the point is, guys, if you drop this thing, well, number one, if you're out in the rain, you don't have to worry about it. If you drop it in a mud puddle or a creek or something, you don't have to worry about it. It is fully waterproof, warranted against that. But I got to tell you, it would just make my heart sink to see a $6,000 pair of thermal binoculars a foot underwater.
Yeah,
so
don't do that for fun. Don't test it for fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise it for fun, but it is warranted against it. And speaking of warranty, it does have the Pulsar USA 3-year warranty, and Pulsar does have great customer service if you ever need anything from them. They're located here in Texas. We're glad to have them here. They're a great company to work with. So rest assured buying that. Now, Hans, I think you're going to do a walk around, show us what comes in the box.
Yeah,
and what
Pulsar being a very good designer of thermal optics, night vision optics, European made. I mean, it is very intuitive. So I'm going to do a walk around real quick. Has the neck strap. You know what? Before I do that, let me say what's in the box. So in the box comes the neck strap. You also get a soft shell carrying case for it. A lot of people ask about that. You also are going to get a wall charger for it that comes with it. Your USB-C cord, so you can use that to charge it with. You could use it to hook it up to your computer to download videos off of it. So you got a couple different cords there, and you've got a charging base. So this is the base that you charge the APS-3 removable battery in. If you buy an extra battery, you can charge both of them at the same time. You can always charge this optic just by plugging it directly into a wall socket, and that'll charge both batteries at the same time. So walk around. Now, what Jason was talking about, you basically have one objective lens, so we were pointing to it. You got your one objective lens there. On this other side is your laser rangefinder. Obviously, you have laser range finding capabilities with this. On top, you've got 6-button layout, 3 on each side, anything from power to your record button to your laser rangefinder, menu, and up and down. The USB-C, Jason, is kind of like plug is like finding Where's Waldo. Had to look for it, but it's hidden. It's a good hidden spot right there. But USB-C port right there. You've got your tripod post screw if you want to put it on a tripod. Like Jason said, the eyepieces are adjustable for size depending on how narrow or wide your eyes are. So these are adjustable. You can pull them apart. You've got eyepiece diopter focuses independent for both eyes, which I messed with forever because I'm like, oh man, I get one perfect. My left eye is jacked up or something. I don't know. I couldn't get it. Couldn't get my eye working right, but got them going. Focusable objective lens here on the front. This dial right here. I think that's about it. Oh, the battery. Yeah. Right. Let's demonstrate this battery. Okay. Here's your APS-3 right here on top. See that little white dot? That helps you line up how to put the battery in. But it's just kind of stuck in there. To release it, there's a kind of just a button here on the side closest to the objective lens. You push that, and it pops that battery up so you can take it out. Just to put it in, just insert it in there, push it down really hard, and to release it again, push that button, pops that battery out. So demonstration of the battery.
Okay. Hans, I want you to show him one more thing. If you're done, I want to talk about something, but while you got, I want to show. Okay. Hans is going to show you, and you're going to go, what? The proximity sensor. And I'm going to explain what that is. Hans, show him right where that thing is. See if you can see
proximity sensor? That's,
right there where you put your eye.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. Okay. Right there. All right, guys, you go, well, what's a proximity sensor? Well, most modern cell phones now have this. And that's where when you pick your phone up and you put it to your face, the screen goes off because it senses that it's at your face, and you pull it off and the screen lights back up where you can see it. So this is brilliant. Pulsar, A+, you get an award for this. This is the greatest, seems so minor feature that I have seen in a thermal scope this year. I'm not going to say ever because I haven't thought about it long enough. There may be some better future, but I don't know of anything this year that I have seen, maybe longer than that is this simple but ingenious. All right, so what this means is simply when you pull your eyes away, and that little sensor right there knows that, okay, you pulled them away, immediately the display screen goes off. And it goes off, and if you're familiar with Pulsar, when your display is off, it's got a little blue box that bounces around, kind of like a screensaver. You know what? It's basically showing you that, hey, I'm still on, but there's this little blue box when you look in there. So when you pull your eyes away, the display, both displays on the eyepieces automatically go off. When you put it back up to your eyes, instantly they come back on because it senses that your face is coming back. Now, this does two things. May do more than two, but there's two that I can think of right off the top. Number one, it's saving your battery life because now you've got two display screens that go off. And when I was talking about the battery life, I realized to properly test this battery life and give you the, I'm going to guess to say worst case of I had to turn this proximity sensor off, which you can do in the settings. Turn it off so that the displays stayed on the whole time. I would love to know, but I did not feel like going through this test again to see how much longer the battery life is with this proximity sensor turned on so that the display screens are not, on all the time. But it's going to have to increase your battery life because those two screens are turned off. So again, this is a battery life boost, but I'm going to tell you the second thing that it does. Now, when you're wearing these around your neck, instead of having those display screens on and the light bouncing up here and hitting your chin and illuminating your face, even if it's just a little bit, number one, people are concerned, hey, maybe the animals might see it, and they might. Maybe you're too far away and they won't. But number two, it's annoying to you. You're walking around and you got that little bit of light hitting you in the chin. This just eliminates that. As soon as you set them down, the display screens are off. So anyway, guys, I know this sounds like really simple, like, okay, big deal. No, it's a big deal. And Pulsar, if you're listening to this, start putting this in all your
That's
thermoscopes.
Great.
It's just this is it. This is what it's amazing. So anyway, that I just wanted to throw out that proximity sensor and explain what's going on there. That's fantastic.
You teased it a couple times in the leading up to it. So man, I hope everybody is impressed. Right. No, it's a great feature, and I agree. I hope they put it in everything, to tell you the truth.
Me too. I think we'll see that. I think this will be, and I'm not predicting what Pulsar is going to do, but I'm just saying I think if Pulsar doesn't do it, other manufacturers are going to see it and copy it because it's that good. All right, guys, I want to jump in here real quick, and I want to talk about some of my, just general thoughts on this optic. I'm fixing to make another comment, and this is going to be a very, very big comment, and I told Hans this. I got this unit first, and he hadn't seen it yet. And so I brought this up to him, and he may or may not, he may agree or disagree. I believe that this is the best designed, the overall best fit and finish, feel, attention to detail. I don't know what other adjectives or words to use here. I think when you pick this up and you, again, look at the design, you feel it in your hands, the way that there is rubber that's kind of soft. I say rubber, I guess that's what I'd call it. It's a softer rubber in some places, the hard plastic in others. I think this is the nicest and best designed thermal optic, period, that I've ever picked up. I think that it feels like a high-end set of binoculars. So if you went into an optic store and you picked up a normal set of, I'm talking several $1,000 daytime binoculars, that's what it feels like to me. It feels that nice, and I don't think that I'm exaggerating when I say that. These things are not cheap. These things are not just thrown together. There is a lot of detail going on in this design and fit and finish and feel. And guys, That's what Pulsar's known
It
for.
is.
I mean, we've said that before, but I think they outdid themselves.
You will not be, $5,800, almost $6,000 is a lot of money. But when you get these, when you hold them in your hand, when you use them, and you see the attention to detail, like Jason's talking about, you're not going to be underwhelmed. I promise you that the presentation of these and what you're getting, it is. I have to agree with you on that, Jason. There's so many times that you spend a lot of money on a thermal optic, and it almost feels like you're holding a piece of equipment that came right out of the military or something like that, which is fine and rugged. But these feel like very high end set of optics that, you can tell just by looking at them that, man, those are really, really nice. But the performance of these things, again, is what makes this a great buy, because even no matter how it looks like on the outside through the optic itself, I mean, these things are legit. And there's a lot of companies that have not tried to even mess with thermal binoculars before. I don't know why. This is Pulsar, they had the accolade, now they've got the mergers. But man, they've really, I wish we had one of the accolades to show if we still had one in the office.
We do.
They're warehouse. But I wish you could see the difference side by side, because the way that it looks, if you're not familiar with the accolade, it looked like you were kind of holding a Kleenex box with two lenses on it. It is. I mean, you wear this around your neck, people are going to think you're out walking trails, bird watching during the day or something. Yeah, something like.
Hey, I want to say a couple quick things here. Number one, and we're way into this review, and so it doesn't really matter at this point because if you've stuck around this long, but we're recording this in October of 2022, and these units are not in full production yet. We've actually still got a list of people waiting on these. This is the first set of these that we've got, kind of a pre-production deal that Pulsar sent out to dealers to let us all start testing them. So I mean, I say pre-production. This is the final production unit, and we paid for them, but we just got one to use. We've had them for several weeks. But with that said, again, if you're watching this and down the road, November, December, maybe next year, 2023, whatever, we may have these things sitting around. If you go to our website and you see that they're not there at outdoorlegacygear.com, or you want to call and talk to us about them, whatever, we can get you on a back order list for them. So I wanted to say that, number one, that again, as we're reviewing these today, supply right now supply doesn't exist, but supply is going to be limited here this fall. So if you want them, I would say to give us a call and throw in a back order. But the second thing I'm going to say is that people have been asking me, all right, I already own the accolades. I got the accolades, XP50s. Do I need to upgrade to these? And my answer to that is yes and no. Okay. Is it a overall nicer fit and finish and feel and design? In my opinion, yes. But image quality wise, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit better. I mean, is it worth it to go sell yours at a big discount, then to come and buy these and lose some whatever $2,000 or $3,000 in the middle? I don't know. I don't want to tell you to go do that. That's a lot of money. I know there's some guys who are still seeking out the accolades because they like that IPS 7 battery pack, and maybe they've got a Pulsar trail scope, or maybe they've got a Helion, and they can maintain the same battery pack system. So there's still a place for that accolade for now. I think the accolades are going to stay for a little while. I don't know that they'll be around forever, but to the guys who are like, should I just run out and go buy this and get rid of my accolade? I think if you've got the money to do that, you're not concerned about it financially of maybe losing some money on selling a used optic and buying a new one, I'd say sure. If you're getting maybe down on your warranty, you're down to maybe 2.5 years, and you're like, man, I've only got 6 months or a year of warranty. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about getting into a new one before the warranty runs out. Yeah. Yes. If you're perfectly happy with your accolades, then no, I don't think you have to go jump into these. I think the design change is going to be the biggest thing you're going to notice. So I just wanted to mention that because a lot of guys have said, hey, I love my accolade. What do I need to do? And I'm like, I think that decision just has to come up, down to you and your budget and what you're looking for. I don't want a guy to go out and sell those, buy these, and go, well, they're cool and they're better, but I lost $3,000 in the middle or something. So just something to think about. That kind of boils down to where you're at.
Well,
but, Hans,
I was going to say,
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Before we jump into the likes and dislikes real quick, I wanted to mention, because a lot of people asking about the Helion 2 XP50 Pro versus the Accolade. There's obviously a lot of differences. I'm holding them up if you're listening on audio only version. And I hope y'all enjoyed all of the footage from the merger. Jason was kind enough to supply that from all his hogs that have been running around in his pasture. So kudos and great work on that. The monocular versus the biocular, really it's personal preference. People call up and say, well, which one would you prefer? Well, what I want and what I would like is going to be different than what a lot of people do. But the picture images on these are going to be very, very similar. There's not going to be one that's going to be further or much further as far as better picture image. They're going to be very, very close. Now, obviously, the merger has some features that the Helion doesn't, with the laser rangefinder and the fact that you're looking through both eyes, which when looking through both eyes, I will say you have less eye strain, more comfortable for your eye, probably a more enjoyable experience when you're out. Maybe the downside is it's a little bit bigger and maybe not quite as mobile. If you're moving around a lot, it might be a little bit tougher, but the picture image, don't let that be your deciding factor, thinking, oh, well, this one's going to have better picture image, because they're going to be almost the same.
Yeah, basically on paper they are the same. It's the difference in putting, one eyepiece versus two. And Hans said something. This is I'm going to roll into kind of my likes here, because this is something I wanted to bring up anyway. So he was kind of making this point. There is something about looking through two eyepieces. Number one, like he said, less eye strain, but it also gives you this weird, almost 3D effect. You have this little bit of a perception of depth that you don't have normally with a single eyepiece up to your eye. So there is a benefit to that, but I do want to say Hans is right. These are not for everybody. This is they're big, they're bulky. This is not something you're going to just slap into your hoodie pocket or into your coat pocket. You're going to have to wear them around your neck. If you're really, really mobile, if you're moving a lot, if you're doing, they may not be for everybody. If you're dragging through the woods, you're climbing through barbed wire fences all night, or it may not be for you. I think if you're set up in one location, maybe calling, that sort of thing, if you're in a blind of some sort, fantastic. And again, that's something we can maybe get into here in a minute of who they're really good for. But I do think that there's still a place for the Helions for sure. And I agree. Don't buy one thinking you're going to get better necessarily image quality. So let me jump in here on these dislikes. I want to get those out of the way. I always like to do those first. So one thing I know is going to come up, we got to mention it. Hey, it's got an internal battery. That internal battery is not removable by the end user. If it ever died or had a problem, it would have to be sent back to Pulsar for warranty work or for repair, replacement, what have you. It's the way all the Pulsar Thermion scopes are. We haven't seen that be a big issue. They've been around since 2019. I don't expect to see this to be any other kind of a major issue. But again, I understand some people don't like it. It is what it is. The optic will operate without that battery. So let's just say in some, terrible scenario, that battery died or quit working or wouldn't take a charge or whatever. Just pretend it's not there. The optic will still run off of the APS-3 that is removable or a USB battery, so it's not a huge deal. I think that the speaking of the battery, Hans showed how you press and pop that battery out where that APS-3 battery slides in. I don't know. I'm just going to say, as great as I talked about the design and how amazing it was, I think the battery is the one thing. The way it slides in feels funny to me. I don't feel like it's I don't feel like I'm getting a click and a lock of any sort in, so I kind of
yeah,
press.
I was just about to say that.
I just don't know. I don't know if it's all the way in, and I press it to. I've never seen it fall out. It's nothing like that, but.
You want to hear a click, or you want to know something that's in there, but really the only way that you know that it's in there is you just almost press it as hard as you can. I mean, I don't know, but there's no latch, there's no click, there's nothing really to let you know that it's seated in there other than it's just tight and it won't go any further in.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, whatever. It's just kind of strange to me. I just wish there was something a little better there, but whatever. I mean, I've never had it fall out or anything. Two more quick things. The eyepieces. So those are independent and they actually move left and right, in and out. And because everybody's eyes are, a different distance apart. So you've kind of got to play with that. And if you don't get them the right distance, what you'll actually do is you will see the image twice. Your brain will not put that together. So if they're the wrong distance and you start having that happening, you've something's wrong. You've got to get them just right, and it takes a little bit of playing with to get it right for your eyes. So I think the only negative would be if your buddy picks this thing up and his eyes are sitting over here on the side of his head or something, then he's going to pick it up and go, man, I need to adjust these or whatever. I let several people look through these. I had them set for my eyes. Nobody moved them. They didn't even know they could move. Nobody said anything about it. But I do think there's a little bit of adjustment there. You just got to toy with that. I don't know if that's a negative. It's just something to know going in that you need to play with those. And then I think that this is going to be inside baseball. This is a complaint that I have, and I'm nitpicking, and I'm sure the Pulsar guys are just shaking their head. But for you guys who have owned and used Pulsars like the Trails or the Axions or the Helions, you're going to know what I'm talking about here. So over on the left side of the unit, you have your menu button and your up and your down. Historically, Pulsar has put the menu button in the middle, and then your up and down on either side of that. So when you're going through the menu, up, 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 or down, 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 you press the menu button to select. This is different. It is up, down menu. So I cannot tell you how many times I would press the up button thinking I'm pressing the menu. Now listen, if you've never used a Pulsar, I say never even used. If you haven't used a lot and got that muscle memory of how their buttons have always been, this is a non-issue to use. So I said a little bit of inside baseball. But if you are familiar with that center menu button, it takes a while to get used to. Why they did it, I have no idea. It really doesn't matter. It just goes back to your Pulsar muscle memory, and that's it. So if you don't have that, nothing to worry about. But again, hey, we want to pick apart the little things, no matter how small they are. But that is the very, very minor nitpicking, dislikes. But the likes, guys, there's a lot to like.
Lot to like. And I think you hit the all the dislikes and all the ones that I could even think of, and even more. Which, not a surprise, but the positives, I know.
Wow.
No, you're very thorough with it, and it's good. That's what people expect. The positives, man, we talked about the fit and finish, the attention to detail, the menu, the ease of use, I don't want people to think that this is an overly complicated optic to use. That's a big concern from a lot of people. They're like, I just don't like technology. I'm intimidated by technology. I don't want something with a lot of gadgets and gizmos. This optic does a lot of things, but that doesn't mean you have to use all the features that it has. If you want something comfortable to use out in the field that has fantastic picture image, it's a great optic, and it has a lot of features that down the road, if you ever feel like exploring and learning more about it, it can do. But the fit and finish, again, the attention to detail, when you see it, when you feel it, when you use it. You can tell how intuitive it is with that proximity sensor, which is a great feature, and knowing that, hey, this is a very high-end European-made optic, and it's something that you are going to have for many years and be able to enjoy and not worry about, well, something brand new is coming out tomorrow, so this is going to be obsolete. No, this is something you're going to have for a long time, many years, and it's going to do everything that you could possibly want it to do while you're out in the field hunting. If you're just a hiker and or a camper, and you want to make sure that keep large game away from your tent at night, or property protection or security. I mean, whatever you're doing, this is something that's going to last you a long, long time.
I agree that you just marked most of the things off my list. I'm going to finish up, and I'm going to say just that overall design, as I already made the huge statement, I think it's the best designed thermal optic I've ever held. And when I say design, again, I'm talking about, not just the button layout, which is true. The way those things are, it's ergonomic. It's right there, whether you're left-handed or right-handed. They just feel perfect there. But again, that fit and finish design, the way they feel in your hands, it's not just a bunch of hard plastic. It is that softer, rubberized feel in all the right places. It's legit, guys. So I like that. Battery life, big deal. As I told you, me taking off the display off, proximity sensor, taking that battery saving mode off, I still got 9.5 hours here. Again, admitting that that's sitting here, best case scenario. Maybe in the field that goes down some. Then again, I think that comes back up when we turn on the display off feature, battery saving. So let's just call it whatever. Let's just go conservative. Call it 9 hours, guys. That's a lot of battery life. And I got over 4 hours on a single $99 APS-3 battery. So if you're really concerned about battery life, maybe you're hunting in that super cold weather, you grab another 1 or 2 of those batteries, and we're talking about a ridiculous runtime. To me, I was concerned about battery life. I had this fear of I'm going to test the batteries and I'm going to get 4 or 5 hours. I got twice that. So really, really happy with the battery life. This is going to seem minor, but it's a really nice padded neck strap. It's got, neoprene on it. It feels really good. It's what you would expect that you should get with a pair of binoculars like this. Again, I know it seems minor, but I'm glad they're there. If you want to put some other kind of neck strap, I know a lot of guys like to use like a chest harness so they're not bouncing around on you with normal binoculars. You can definitely rig up different binocular straps with that. Rolling in here, I know we got to wrap this thing. We've gone long because we liked it and so much. We've talked a lot about it, but I kind of mentioned this. I'm gonna say my piece and I'll kind of let Hans say what he thinks. But who's it good for? Again, it's good for the guy who I think is in a fixed position, whether that's in a stand, whether that's standing behind his tripod calling, whether it's sitting in his truck. Maybe you're out checking cattle. Maybe you're in a state where you can hunt from your truck. You're sitting out in the middle of your own field, got your heater sitting there running, and you're, maybe you're watching a bait pile or whatever. You want to roll the windows down every once in a while.
Sounds like my kind of hunting right there. I'm down for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking about. I might even have a little Debbie or something. Have a snack while I'm in there.
Cream pie.
So yeah, a whipped cream. There you go. So I think it's really good for that guy. I think if you're extremely mobile and you are tons of walking and maybe, like I said, going through fences, going through briars and stuff in the woods, just all over, they may be heavier than you want. I think that we get more and more guys that are mule deer hunting and elk hunting, and they're getting, or even bears, and some of these states allow you to search for those animals, maybe, 1 or 2 days. Some guys, you can do it right then. Some guys have told me it's got to be, 48 hours before you hunt or whatever your state's rules are, but you can look and you can say, hey, look, those elk are over there. They're bedding on this side of the mountain or whatever. I think those kind of deals where you're glassing and looking a long ways for a long time, I think they're going to be really, really good for that. And again, the laser rangefinder, I think, is just going to be a plus. If you don't even need the laser rangefinder, it's there. You can't get it without it. I think you'll use it. I think you'll play around with it. It's cool to have in there. So overall, that's my 2 cents on who I think it's good
and I would agree. Think about this. If you're like what Jason was saying, if you're very active, very mobile, like I am, walking around all the time, only time you're sitting still is just to call coyotes for a little bit. But if you are an AR hunter, if you hunt with an AR style rifle, think about the way that you go into the field. Think about how much you move, because if you carry an AR rifle, more than likely you carry it across your chest with a sling. So if you got a backpack on, you've got your rifle hanging across your chest. You can't really hang binoculars around your neck too and carry it if you got a rifle on your chest. No. So again, I think you nailed it, Jason. Who it's good for, but the people that it is good for, it is excellent for. So excellent. Love these bioculars. They're awesome. If you're looking to purchase this, or if you want to talk about other Pulsar options, optics, scopes, monoculars, there's a lot of stuff they got going on, and they are continuing to pump out. What's great about Pulsar, they pump out good stuff, but it's all really good quality stuff. It's not super rushed. And, everything that comes out seems to have just such an awesome upgrades from things in the past, and little little things that we like, the proximity sensor, little items like that add to it. But anyway, give us a call, 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacygear.com. Again, you can talk to Jason and I. We both use these out in the field quite a bit. This video is going out. My review video is going to go out with it as well, with some additional video content. If you want to talk about the Helions, anything else, give us a call, 877-350-1818. You can find past episodes of the Late Night Vision Show on thelatenightvisionshow.com. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Subscribe there. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, Jason, which is awesome. And also, thanks for listening on iTunes, Google Play, watching on Facebook, on Spotify, all of that. And if you want to find me, you can find my YouTube channel, Hans ETX, HANS on YouTube, or you can find me on Instagram at Hans ETX, and then you can find Jason on Facebook, on Instagram, on all the forums, pretty much. Outdoor Legacy. Go give us a check out and a thumbs up. How about that?
All right, guys. Thank you for watching this review. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hans told you how to get a hold of us. If you're interested in purchasing one of these or finding out if it's right for you, we would love to have your business. If you want to support the podcast, give us a call whenever you're ready to purchase an optic, night vision, or thermal. We would love to have your business. Guys, we hope to see y'all back here, same bat time, same bat channel next week. Between now and then, y'all stay safe in the fields and keep making those bacon pancakes.